All right, everyone, we are here with War 7 against PBT. Today we'll be taking in Magneto, Nebula, and Mr. Negative. I have Path 3 in both sections, two shared fights, and then two mini-boss fights. All right, so this first fight here, we're going to use Nebula against Colossus. The idea here is kind of similar to Chitinous Thorn's node and Cutting Wires, is that hitting him is going to give me extra shock charges, and I'm just going to parry and let him pretty much die from shock. The only thing about this node is that the chance to place shock is not near as high as the chance to place bleed on that node. So it's kind of RNG dependent on how quickly we'll kill him with shocks. If anything, I'm going to end up getting to special 3 and then letting those shocks finish the job. And you can see here I'm kind of failing at parry. It happens quite often this war. It's probably my own fault in reaction time. But anyway, not really getting any shocks here off the combos or off any of the hits. It's fine. I'm going to keep myself from getting too cornered here. However, Colossus has really easy animations to dodge, so even if he goes unstoppable or unblockable, we can at least dodge against the wall. And there we go, we got some shock charges there. And now we're pretty much at special 3, missed the block again, yay for the regen. Gonna go into special 3 there, and you had the repeated block tap before the special 3 attack here. And now we're gonna end up putting quite a bit of shock debuffs on him, so this will help out a good bit. And down he goes. So not a very clean first fight, but we came out alive and well above 50%, and that's what matters. This little disconnect scared me a little bit here. I thought it was going to be an issue, and we end up coming out of it fine. So I roll on to the next fight, utilizing the timer on that invulnerability boost. We got Cosmic Ghost Rider here on Hurt Locker. I'm just going, and Power Focus too. I'm just going to parry heavy with Magneto, which I should be a little worried after that first fight, but I believe this one goes a bit smoother. There are just a few blocked hits that were meant to be parries instead, like that one. But we have the armor break debuff, so we're going to constantly heal here. I mean, the game plan is just parry heavy, hope that magnetize or magnetism shuts off unstoppable armor by preventing the armor up buffs most of the time. So 70% of the time, it'll work all the time. Yeah, we're just going to bait out special attacks. We're not going to retaliate them. That way we don't get parried. And we're just going to parry heavy him until we get close to special 3. I think one more heavy, and I'm going to start charging the heavy just to start building more prowess. There we go. And here I am watching just the global timer for the armor up. There's not much I can do if his armor up judgment triggers. But luckily, because of the global, if it hadn't triggered, when that armor up comes, it places it. And down he goes, nice and easy. So, two pretty simple and pretty straightforward fights. Now we move on to the usual fight you guys have seen me take, and that's Mr. Negative against Manthing on node 20 here. We're going to PS1. Game plan is to parry, reparry heavy, parry medium, light, light, evade counter. That should put us at about 7 dark energy and 6 hits on the combo meter. And then we are going to parry, medium, light, and that'll trigger the armor up from Hit Me, I Dare You. We'll let that unstoppable pass if it does trigger, and then we'll evade counter into a special attack. So we didn't get to reparry there. He went heavy, unstoppable, so we just followed it up with the parry heavy. There's our 7 dark, and we are at 6 hits. Now we're at 8. Last one. I don't remember what I did there. why I paused. I was not paying attention during the commentary. But anyways, we threw the special 2, ended up working out. And he's just melting away. And then we hit around the knocked out corpse. So easy section 1. A quick thing on that Man-Thing fight, I realized I paused because an armor up was about to trigger from the global and I didn't want to get smacked. Moving on, Nebula here on EMP taking Apocalypse. You guys have seen me cheese this with a Dex parry combo rotation. We are utilizing the dexterity buff to give him the shock charges he needs from EMP to give us the 20 shock charges when it's time for him to throw special 1. And we are being specific and intentional with our parries and our blocks so that we know where Bubble Shield is at all times, so that a special 1 does not go unblockable and we end up taking hits or damage. So there was the first set. He's already shocked with 20. I have half suicides on here, so it's going to help the damage. We are well past 50% after the first set of shocks. So here we are setting up our shock EMP buffs again. And here I feel pretty comfortable with the fact that he may pin me against the wall. It's not a big deal. There it was. We avoided the unblockable Bubble Shield. And now we have a new set of Bubble Shield. Now I'm going to try to bait out this special 1 without pushing him to special 2. But you're going to see he's going to be pretty stubborn, which is fine. I'm hitting into his block, backing him up so that we don't get cornered anymore. And as soon as he throws this special 1 and we land the parry, it'll end the fight. So boom, down he goes. Easy peasy. Next fight is Ultron on node 32. This is much less a cheese fight in the damage sense. It's more of a cheese fight in the shutting everything down sense. Now, Nebula with 5+ charges is going to shut down all robotic ability accuracy. However, Ultron's regen and evade cannot be affected by the modification, so we have to be mindful of when he's going to evade, and I am going to parry to cut the regen buff when I can. This was not a max sig Ultron. I did not actually check. I just noticed through the fight that the shocks do not fall off near as fast as they should if he was max sig. So we get a little more shock damage than we thought we would here. So an argument could have been made that I could have ended this fight with a parry into special 2 and just let him shock to death. However, I just went ahead and played it safe anyways, like I normally do. That info probably would have changed my gameplay. However, it's not a big deal at all. Going pretty smooth. Here we are, and here's the set of shocks that I realized, hey, he's not max sig. Throwing the special 3 here. It's a quick animation, so we didn't speed hers up. And yeah, now it's just pretty much over. We're going to easily get to the 5 charges we need. I parried there to end the regen buff, and down he went. All right, and then taking Civil Warrior here with Magneto on node 48. Benefit here is that when you have magnetism, you can't miss with Magneto. And I have yet to actually use Magneto against a champion like Civil Warrior, who would gain a bunch of armor ups through the fight, to really experience how much the ability accuracy reduction helps. So the game plan here is just strictly to parry heavy. There I am losing my indestructible buff again. So it was pretty worthless. Anyways, it is pretty easy to watch his armor ups and parry heavy. Granted, you're controlling your combo count, so really the only thing that's going to give him an armor up are his attacks. And with us doing one at a time, it's very unlikely that we hit that 5 combo mark that gives him an armor up. So we're really just watching the global and making sure that he's not unstoppable when we try to parry, and we'll know immediately because he won't get stunned. And I think through this whole fight he only goes unstoppable twice, which is kind of crazy. So here we're ramping up our prowess so that we can drop the big special 3 there. I didn't realize I was faltered, or that he was faltered, so I did not expect him to miss. It worked out in our favor. Dropping this with 40, and because he has so many armor ups, there's a chance for him to make bleeds fail. But it's fine. He can't heal. He's just taking damage, and then we'll eventually get the shrapnel detonate, but he doesn't even last to that point. So really, really easy solo with Magneto. And then my last fight is this Mojo here on node 54, AoE. I've taken a bunch of Mojos with Mr. Negative when Mr. Negative came out. It was between me and Spider-Man 2099, but the Spider-Man 2099 player was blocked when we decided to go, and I was running low on my boost timer, so I went ahead and just took it to knock it out. However, I completely forgot to take off the bleed suicides that I ran in the later half of this war. It's not a big deal, since the Mr. Negative gameplay with a APB is just get to special 2 and game over. So one special attack, we're not going to take a lot of recoil damage, and the bleed isn't going to put us anywhere near assassin range. So here I'm not parry heavying in case a prompt activates, and then we end up losing that buff and feeding MD. So there I noticed I was parrying enough and actually got to 6 or more light energy really quickly. Here I decide to parry just for some 2 extra light energy before evade countering against the wall into special 2. And now he's just melting from 13 degen and from the double petrify. So I'm assuming he has willpower here. There are a few extra numbers, and he goes down faster than Manthing, or just about as fast as Manthing did. So that was the end of my war. Our BG ended up tying their BG with 3 deaths. And unfortunately, we ended up losing this war 5-4. So super frustrating. Losing to an alliance that's not in the top 3 is definitely going to prevent us from getting top 3. So our best chance of getting top 3 to finish the season is winning out our 5 wars and then hoping there's some sort of upset in the top 3. One thing that is not lost on me that is very common for our season runs is that we rematch an alliance like GT40 or JA before the end of the season. So not super optimistic about it, pretty disappointed, even though the death count is low and most master alliances would be happy with a 5-death war. It's not going to get the job done when you're chasing top 3. So hope you guys enjoyed the war video. Hit subscribe, like, share, and I will catch you guys at the next one.